Hi everyone, I really hope you're doing all good. In this video, I am going to explore the entire research process that we have done before we have launched the Knotie-AI Pro platform. Many of you have reached out through either through YouTube channels or through the email that why didn't we launch a voice AI agent platform rather than an agency platform. And I think by the end of this video, you will know why we have done that because I'm going to show you the entire research process that we have done. But I think the main question is, why do you care? The other reason why I am sharing this research with you is by the end of this video, you will know a list of voice AI providers that are available in the market today. Many of those providers you probably haven't heard of, which will help you know the market today as help you select a specific voice AI providers for your voice AI agents or for your own customers voice AI agent. And if you're trying to build an startup like an voice AI agent based startup, this will also help you know the market, understand the market, and also do some sort of categorizations and filtration on how to select a target market for your product. So I really hope that this particular video will give you a lot more insights about different voice AI providers that is out there. So let's go to the screen and let's start this video. So the first thing that I will start with is by showing you the list of voice AI providers that we have done the research with. Now, before even I go there, I just wanted to tell you that this space is really exploding like anything. I'm at least seeing every week or so there's new providers coming up there, and then there are companies like Go High Level, which are also providing voice AI agents today as of now. So that means a lot more agency owners are actually now selling the voice AI agents or their voice AI agents as if their own SaaS. And this is also making the market a lot more competitive. I'm sure this is going to be even more competitive as the day comes by. And many of you also reach out to me when you are trying to build your own voice AI agent platform. You have some questions in technical questions, or sometimes some market oriented questions, sometimes some compliance oriented questions. And with this video, I will hope to cover everything possible in the short span of time so that you can have the best strategy possible. The estimated market size for voice AI agent industry is going to be more than $45 billion by 2030 or 2032. So as you can see, as the market size will grow, even eventually, everyone want to take a piece of it, and that is why you will see providers like 11 Labs, provider like Synthesias, providers like Prime.ai, or some providers who are only giving like TTS or STT. They are also launching their own voice AI agents today. So let me first show you the providers, then I'll come to that discussion. So we have broadly categorized this provider as like enterprise providers, large and medium sized providers, startup providers, and other notable providers, which are more voice AI agent provider, but they are also serving different other market, or they are also serving different other products. Now, when you look at the enterprise providers, we have done some research on this many. I think there are almost 15 provider we have done quick research on, from Code.ai to LivePerson, IBM Watson Assistant, Genesis AI, Cognigi, and Nuance, which is also Microsoft backed AI agents. So these are all like voice AI agent provider, but these are only made for enterprise space. They are not like Vapi or Retail or Bland AI. They are not going to charge you like per minute or something, because these are like real enterprise systems. They're really built for enterprise system. That means the error rate is really low, and there is a lot of premium support available. There is a lot of compliance and regulations that are being taken care of. And as you can see by the names of it, they are actually building it for banks, different government agencies, healthcare agencies, and everything. And then comes the large to medium provider, which is where we have a lot more new providers that have came up. As you can see, 11 Labs, Voice Flow, which are also some sort of provider who are targeting medium-sized businesses. Rasa, which is primarily an WebRTC provider, they are also starting their own voice AI agent. You have probably seen in this channel about Ultravox AI. DeepGram have also launched their STT and TTS, and they're also launching their voice AI agents. Then there is Poly AI, Resemble AI, SoundHound AI, and there's just many. Rhyme AI again. a STT engine, but now they are also launching their voice AI agent. Then there is Synthflow AI, list are endless. And then we looked at the startup provider, which is actually the biggest list, as you can see. So we have Vapi, Retail, Bland, Millis AI, and Cartesia, and Dasha, AR.ai, Voyage, then Confluent, Voxia AI. So all these providers, as I said, most of them were actually providing some AI services earlier, like TTS or STD, and now they are also launching voice AI agent because everyone want to take some market share of this entire voice AI agent industry, and that makes sense. And then we have also did some research on some of the other providers, like we have done some analysis on RingCentral and Twilio. Again, these are mainly telephony provider, but because telephony providers are essential in this voice AI agent ecosystem, they have now started rolling out their own voice AI agents as well. So all in all, if you see, we have done research on over 50 to 60 providers, and I'm going to actually talk more about what research that we have done shortly. Okay, let's go to the other research. So here you see there we have a comparative guide that we have followed when we are doing the research on when we are launching Knotie-AI, because when I have started Knotie-AI as an open source project last year, it was meant to be an AI sales agent. Many of you have probably seen that video or have checked out the project. And also a week back, I did a post in my YouTube that was like, shall we build an completely open source voice AI agent builder platform? Many of you have shown interest, and I'm really looking forward to build that platform. This is the one of the reason why I'm covering this video as well, because we want to understand the market. We want to do a proper research before we even start a project, because we don't want to just build a project or start a project without a goal in mind, without knowing our own end business users, right? We don't want to create another Vapi or retail platform. So that is why what I am intending to do is to show you the list of providers now in this video, and in the subsequent video I'm going to create more in-depth tutorial on each of these providers. It is not probably possible to create like for 60 providers, but we will take some of the more popular options that we have, from 11 labs to retail, Vapi, Bland AI, Millies.ai, and all these platforms, so that we come to know the best feature in each of the provider that they are providing. And then when we will build our own voice platform, voice AI agent platform, as an open source project, we will try to take all those best features into our product. And the best part is, if we can do that, we will be ahead of the game. Plus we would know what we are trying to build, who we are trying to build for, right? For example, as a solo developer myself, or maybe few of you joining me, we won't be able to probably build an enterprise system at day one. So we would start probably slow, targeting MSME industries or something. And that is why this particular research is important. So when we looked at the setting the stage at the initial part of our research, we actually thought to create Knotie-AI as a voice as primary interface. Like, will be voice. That's what we have imagined as Knotie-AI Pro platform will be. From the sign up, if you want to create a voice agent, you can use our voice agent to create another voice agent. You can talk with a voice agent as a support agent. You could do a customer support. It could be an inbound and outbound campaigning with the voice agent. So everything would be voice agent. That's what we envision for, and that is where we started doing the research. But we had to decide the business outcome of our platform, and that is why we spoke about 4 different areas. The voice AI agent platform by Knotie-AI must provide efficiency gains to our customers. It must provide a good customer experience. It must help businesses scale their operations, so it must be scalable. And we should create a new engagement model in terms of marketing and customer engagement. That's what we initially decided as the business outcomes. And then when we started doing the segregation of different providers out there based on this business outcome, we found there are 3 different areas, as I have already shown you, which is there are established giants like LivePerson, Google, or Cognigate. They are like established players. They have been doing AI call centers for a long, long time. They have the data. They could create custom voice AI agents for specific customer support or specific operations because they already have all those telecommunication data or telecall data that they can train the AI model with. Whereas you and I, when we will start create a voice AI agent, we will be mostly dependent on generic models. And when you start use generic models, it is likely not be as good as these established giants. Though that means the platform that we will create may not be for enterprises. As I said, if you build any AI agent platform for enterprise users, for enterprise businesses, you have to have a really scalable system. Your architecture has to be really scalable, and overall the error percentage has to be less than 1%. Otherwise, no enterprise business would be interested in your solution. And this is one of the advice that I usually give to many of you who reach out to me asking for my opinion as you are building any voice AI agent platform. So that is why even when we will create the open source platform, hopefully from the next week, so please go ahead and give your vote here. I'm waiting for 100 votes again. So go to the YouTube channel, go to the post and give your vote here so that I know how many of you would be actually helping me do this project and in terms of collaboration technically, so that we can plan the project roadmap and timeline accordingly. And then after established giants, we took a look at the nimble startups, which are the really new startups like Vappy, Retail, Bland. Those are like new startups coming up into the AI space. Again, they are not as good as Live Person. They can't be because these platforms are using general AI models which are not meant for customer service only, which are not meant for specific voice AI agent platform. They are meant for chat applications mostly, and we are just using it for voice AI agent applications. So when even I created different agents as part of my client work, and when we did test, we tried to break it. We could easily break it, but when we tried to break one of these enterprise AI agents, it is difficult to break because those are, as I said, trained with specific call data. And of course, then there are specialized tools like 11 Labs, Synthesia. So that's how we have done the provider segregation. And then we found out that the market is not really monolithic. What I mean by that is the market is segregated in terms of not just the volume but also different use cases. We are seeing voice AI agent platform coming up for a specific business use cases. So it's not monolithic that I will create one voice AI agent platform and that will be used by different use cases. It's not possible. So again, when we create the voice AI agent platform, which is open source, we'll try to cover as much as use cases possible, but it may not cater all the different use cases. That means even though it will be your open source project, that means there is still a possibility that you can fork the project and you could customize it based on your own needs, right? And then we did the next bit of analysis, which is the essential features and criteria for the platform. The platform that we will create must have a really low latency, right? So there are different latency. One is delay when user speaks and AI responds back, and then the latency is really critical for natural conversation. So if the latency is more than 2 second or 3 second or 4 second, it doesn't really feel like a voice AI agent or a human talking. So latency is really important in that sense. And so that is why we said we will target less than 500 millisecond or like a sub-second latency in our platform. This was the thought when we were brainstorming about Knotie-AI Pro platform, and we decided that it would be really difficult to achieve that. So this is one of the reason why we created it for voice AI agency owners rather than a voice AI agent platform. The other bit was there has to be a voice quality and realism, of course. So our text to speech engine needs to be really natural. It needs to be able to handle different technical jargons. It should be able to do speech normalization properly. It should be able to offer voice clonings, and it should be able to also understand the user tone. So sometimes text is not sufficient. It must also understand the tonality of the user input. Again, this is really difficult to achieve. One of the reason why we said for Knotie-AI Pro, we will not launch this as a voice AI agent. Rather, we would do it as a voice AI agency platform, and we will probably target to achieve all of this as part of our open source project that we will start very soon. And then there is NLU and NLP accuracy and intent recognitions. This is exactly an issue which I see a lot just when I test different voice AI platforms, and you will see also this in the coming videos when I will create a different voice AI agent across different providers that I have just shown you, like the ASR engine, right, which actually reads users' input voice and transform it into a text, is not really efficient. The maximum efficiency that I have got with my Indian based app is around 50%. So 50% of the time it doesn't understand the word. Sometimes it understands it wrongly, it assumes it wrongly, and it responds it wrongly. So this is also something really, really important, and which is one of the reason why we said that we're not going to build an voice AI agent platform yet. Why I'm sharing all of this to you, because many of you are also trying to build a voice AI agent platform, and you are too much focusing on the technical architecture and thinking that we'll use some other providers and create the voice AI agent like Vapi and Retail. But I think Vapi and Retail, they and other like Bland and other provider that I've just shown you, they have already launched it, so they have got the first, what is it say, the first movers advantage. If you are coming now at late to the market, you must ensure that you are at least giving one or two or three such feature which is really should be the selling point of your platform. If you create another Vapi, I don't know, unless you have a really good market already at the hand of yours to reach out, then I think it's okay. Otherwise it is difficult to capture a market. And then you must have integration capabilities. Now you need to do both side integration, so that means you need to be able to give integration layers which will be able to connect to your voice agent, and then you need to have integration where your agent will connect to different systems like CRM, ERPs, and everything, right? So we need to have API SDK. You need to have integration capabilities to legacy system, business systems, CRM, telephony, knowledge database, and all these things. And then comes the scalability and reliability. Of course, your system has to be scalable, especially if you're targeting enterprises, businesses, because many of you are actually looking for enterprise systems and enterprise businesses when you are building your product. You absolutely need to have a scalable and reliable system, more than 99.999% accuracy and reliability. So your architecture or technical architecture needs to be resilient. You need to define your SLAs. You need to test on different fluctuating volumes. And this is something that is really, really, again, challenging if you do not have a proper infrastructure in place. Then there is a need for analysis and reporting. So every single customer call, not just call, every single communication that happens between your user and the agent needs to have analysis. So you need to do P95, P90, P85, and all of these performance metrics. You need to do a lot of track the satisfaction survey. You need to track the different analytics like the CSAT score, or how good the agent is able to understand users' queries, and also recognize the performance on heavy load, and also provide all of this as an analytics, right? So if you're creating a voice AI agent platform, or if we would have created a voice AI agent platform, this is something that we wanted to ensure that our platform is providing a really, really good analytics, like an analytics that customer can trust. This is what we have seen is lacking in the space. Currently, we checked the retail AI, we checked the Vapi, we checked the different other providers, and we saw their analytics. We did a lot of comparison, and we saw that the analytics is something that is not really, really good. And that is why we said when we will build Knotie-AI Pro platform, the first thing we'll fix is the analytics, because this is where we see the gap, and then we come up with the voice AI agent solution. And the most important bit, especially if you're going for enterprise system, is the security and compliance. If you're creating for healthcare, you need to be HIPAA compliant. If you're creating for banks, you need to be PCI DSS compliant. If you're in the Europe region, you need to be GDPR compliant. And creating these compliances or achieving these compliances are really, really difficult. It is like, for example, getting an ISO 27001 compliance takes approximately 6 to 8 months. So it's really, really complicated. You need to have a lot of paperwork done and all this stuff. And that is where we said we are not going to create a voice AI agent platform at this moment because we need to be compliant, because we are primarily operating in the UK region, in the Europe region. At the minimum, we have to be GDPR compliant. So that is why we said we will not be able to launch our platform without security and compliance. So we said we are not going to launch the voice AI agent. But again, when we will build the open source version, we will try to be as compliant as possible. Of course, until we get generate revenue, we won't be able to apply for these compliance certifications, but as a system, we will try to be compliant. So one of the decisions that we had to take, whether we want to create it as a low code, no code platform, or we wanted to create it for more developer focus. For example, VAPI. So VAPI is more for developers. That is why they are more API and SDK oriented platform. Whereas if you take GHL or Go High Level, those are like more low code, no code solution. Voice Flow is also one of this example, where they are more like drag and drop builder and stuff rather than API based. So this is something also we were not very much clear when we are building Knotie-AI. My initial thought was to create it for low code and no code solution, primarily empowering agencies, business owners. But we realized that creating a low code or no code platform comes with its own challenges. And if we don't provide enough integrations, that means scaling up the app is difficult. So this is also one of the reason why we said we will take a step back. We will launch the platform first. We understand user requirement, and then we come back. And if you are launching your voice AI agent platform, one of the really important bit that you need to decide is the pricing models, whether you want to do it per minute, per call, or seat licenses. You need to, or you want to do tiered subscription. You want to add platform fees or not. Like VAPI adds platform fee, retail doesn't add a platform fee. Do you want to give usage based pricing for developers or not? And if it is for enterprises, how we are going to charge them? Is it a subscription or platform fees or management fees and all these bits? So again, something you must be thinking of before even you start creating your project. So this is also something we have discussed a lot. I think we took over a week or two just on the pricing models for Knotie-AI Pro, and that is why when you see $97 plan or $297 plan here, these are upcoming, right? The reason is because of that, because the pricing that we have decided was give the base price, and then on top of that, when we will launch the voice AI agent, we could add different credit system, but we wanted to keep it very simple for agency owners. And of course, there is always a trade-off between latency and feature or integrations. So that means either you add a lot more features. If you go to retail platform, and I will cover this in details when we will create voice AI in retail platform or VAPI platform, you will see that as soon as you add, let's say, back channeling, the response time gets 5 second more, not 5 second, 0.5 second or something more in terms of latency. And the reason is because when we add back channeling, in most of the cases, the AI responses are sent back to the AI once again to create a back channeling response, right? So that means the AI agent generate a response initially, and then it is being analyzed whether there is a need of back channeling. Like if there is, let's say, $12.30, it needs to, the AI agent needs to speak like $12.30, right? So it is being resent to the AI engine once again so that it can create a back channeling response. And this is one of the reasons why, as you add more features and as you add more integration, the latency will be much more. So if you want to create a sub 500 millisecond voice AI platform, it is essential that you limit the number of features, or you limit the number of integration, or you create the terms of use or your terms and condition of use of your agent accordingly. So that if you're claiming that you're giving 500 millisecond response, that means there has to be maybe, let's say, maximum 3 AI tools or 3 custom functions that it will support, something like that. Next bit, we did the market segmentation as well as part of our research. So as I said, we did the enterprise need and developer need and medium sized needs. So what are enterprise needs? They need exceptional scalability, they need robust security and compliance, which I have talked before, They need to have deep integration because most of the enterprise might have legacy systems. So your voice AI platform should be able to integrate with them, not just through REST API, which is what most of these platforms are creating. It needs to have advanced analytics and really true analytics, not like an inaccurate analysis. And it must support a proper governance. And of course, there is a need of high reliability and support. So that is like the enterprise needs. If you are creating more startup and developer need based platform like VAPI, then you must have speed of implementation, agility, developer friendly tools like API and SDK, and competitive and flexible pricing on top of low latency. However, if you're creating your platform more focused on medium sized business, then you need to have some balance of features and cost. It need not to be the cheapest voice AI platform if you're targeting medium sized business. Whereas if you're targeting startup and developers for your application, then probably your cost is one of the really, really important factor. This is what we have done the research and we found out that this is really the case. And that is why we wanted to, as I said, we wanted to take a step back. For a medium sized business, however, the performance has to be reliable and there has to be a demonstrable ROI. So, because your platform will not be the cheapest, of course, as you are building it for medium sized businesses. So, that means there has to be a specific ROI that you need to present to the businesses. Right now, we will take a look at few of the platforms that we have done some research, and I'm not going to go through all of the platforms. I'm going to quickly touch a few of the platforms so you understand. I'm going to touch different platforms, all the three segments that we have discussed. First, we will touch on the enterprise. Again, as I said, we have done a lot more analysis on live person, and we have seen that live person's main strength is they have done the blending of AI and human agents. So that means, let's say you use a live person for your client, and you have add their support agent, let's say in the app. So live person have the AI agent, and the AI agent is smartly can route the messages or the calls to their actual call center human agents. So this is really, really powerful the way live person works, as we have seen. And this is not something that we could do, of course, as a startup. When we are launching a Knotie-AI Pro, and we did this sort of research as, but however, we did this kind of research to find out, to do the competitor analysis, you can say. And then, of course, you have Google, who have launched their Cloud Contact Center AI or CCAI. This is not just one tool, of course. This is a suite of different tools coming together and creating a voice AI agent platform. There is cutting edge NLU or natural language understanding, and you, of course, have the GCP to scale, to offer the scalability. And of course, there are different large contact centers use cases that this CCAI is serving. Now let's look at few of this particular platform like VAPI, Retail, 11 Labs, and see what are their strengths are and whether we can match those. So VAPI, again, their emphasis was extremely low latency and their developer plus centric platform. If you go to VAPI, they will say this voice AI for developers. That is why they are more on the API, SDKs, and everything. And their target use cases is real-time interaction, virtual agents, and voice interface, mainly marketing use cases. Whereas retail, again, their focus is also low latency conversation API, but their strength is on interruption handling and different latency benchmark or analytics. This is what is missing in VAPI. Retail analytics is really, really good, and they provide a lot more analytics out of the box, which is what we have seen in retail AI. In case of Bland AI, their APIs are very, very simple. And because of that, for basic functionality AI agent, we have seen Bland AI is been really, really good. And their target use cases are, of course, telephony and outbound campaign and all these bits. Same thing we have also seen with Milli AI. And again, when I'm just giving you a quick brief today in this video, and I'm going to bring a lot more detailed video on each of these platform by creating different business use cases on that platform, create different voice AI agent and test it in the upcoming videos. And 11 Labs, primarily were a TTS provider. They are really, really brilliant TTS provider. There is absolutely no doubt on that. And they have just launched, I think last month, they have just launched the voice AI agent although it's a bit costly, but because the TTS quality is really good and it has a really good naturalness in the voice engine, I think that is why they are able to provide best in class voice generation, which is really, really essential if you're creating a voice AI agent experience, right? And I think at the moment, 11 Labs is also covering the cost of the AI generation output, which is also really nice if you want to try it. Now, coming to Knotie-AI platform, where we want to position ourselves when we create the open source voice agent, is somewhere between these providers. Of course, when we start, and that is where we, in the next videos, I will go ahead and do a lot more deep analysis on each of these platform and create a different use cases so that we can take feedback from you to know which of these features are really, really important for you. And accordingly, we will create our product roadmap and we'll create the voice AI agent. We'll basically revamp the Knotie-AI project that we have created before with the newer technology that we have available today. As we have done the comparative analysis, we have seen different differentiator there. We have seen enterprise platform, mid-market solutions, specialized tool, and unique selling points. So we will try and find out our own unique selling points. Of course, we are not going to sell it, it's going to be open source. But we have seen that no single provider is a best provider, right? So even if you consider the enterprise solution, they're not best in terms of cost, they're not best in terms of agility, right? So there is not a single best provider. So even if you're creating a voice AI agent platform yourself, don't think that you need to create the best voice AI providers, because you can create best in terms of either experience or cost or latency. You cannot tackle everything and become a best. So that thing you need to sort out over time. So I really hope that this video has given you some of the insights that will help you envision your platform in a more focused way. Please align your capabilities. When we would do our voice AI agent platform, our roadmap or our vision would be to add vision capabilities or multimodal capabilities. And I think somewhere we have also mentioned that it's here, like the future outlook. We want to have an hyper realism. We probably want to use some sort of TTS technology, like we have seen in case of Sesame AI. If you have seen Sesame AI, we definitely want to have multimodality in our application. So that means when we will create our voice AI agent platform, we would keep our future outlook in mind. So the design and the architecture will be, of course, multimodal in nature. We want to do verticalizations. So that means our solution must be customized to support different verticals, whether it's healthcare, whether it's home service, or whether it's banks, or whether it's other small MSME industry. And we have to be really careful when we are choosing partners. Again, one of the reason is because it's going to be an open source platform. The reason why we chose open source to create our Knotie-AI voice agent platform is because we want to be adopted by the Europe region, and in the Europe region we have GDPR. So that means there is a likeliness of using a platform which can be self-hosted or which can be run without any privacy risk. So that means when we will choose our partner in creating the application, the partner for AI processing or partner for text to speech or speech to text, we will choose partner accordingly so that there is absolutely near zero privacy risk. And again, same thing goes to you if you are an agency owner, or if you are someone who is building a voice AI product. Please choose your partner accordingly. You don't need to choose OpenAI, or you don't need to choose 11 Labs just because they are best in creating the models. If your product vision is for enterprise space, if your product vision is for healthcare space, choosing your partner is really important. And that is why one of the reason why I have covered more about LiveKit than any other WebRTC framework like DailyCO or something else, primarily because LiveKit is completely open source. So that means it can be self-hosted. So this is really it as part of this video. I really wanted to give you some insight about the detailed comparative analysis we have done and why we have chosen to create Knotie-AI to become an application for agencies. to target small and medium-sized businesses rather than enterprise businesses, and why we have taken a step back. Although, as you can see, this you test this agent is our in-house, right? So this is not using WAPI or 11 Labs or anything. So that means we know the technology, how to implement it, how to do like 500 millisecond latency. We can do all of that, but that doesn't mean that we have to create a voice AI agent solution unless we know our product market fit. So I really hope that this video has given you enough idea from different angles and different perspective. Please let me know if you want me to cover these topics in more details in the coming future. I'll definitely create more videos then in each of these sections, and I'm going to actually share you this entire analysis later on. But in the next video onwards, what we will do is we will select few of these providers like Ultravox, DeepRam, 11 Labs, maybe retail, maybe WAPI. I haven't decided yet. Maybe we will start with retail because we have done retail AI integration into Knotie-AI Pro already. So we'll start with retail probably, and we'll start creating a lot more videos in different business use cases and see different features that each of these platform is providing, so that you have a lot more understanding about each of this provider. If you are an agency owner or something, if you're someone who is also building an AI product, you would know all this platform and their best product feature, so that you can sell voice AI agent solutions to your customer using an appropriate provider. And this is exactly what we also want to achieve in Knotie-AI Pro platform. That is why also I'm making this series, whereas we know each and every provider in details, so that we can make our strategy on what all platform to support in Knotie-AI Pro. If you log in into Knotie-AI Pro, you will see, if you go into Knotie-AI Pro, you will see that we have initially thought of 4 providers, but now that we have done a detailed analysis, we are thinking to add a lot more voice agent providers. And this series of the video will actually help me also select a few of the providers that we can integrate with. If, of course, this list doesn't have like exhaustive list of all the voice AI providers. If you know of some voice AI provider that is not here in this particular list, as you can see, please let me know in the comments, and I will definitely add that into the next videos when we'll do the deep dive. I think there are almost 50 to 60 providers that we have done this research with, and I'm sure there are plenty more that is coming like week. With that said, I'm going to end this video. I really hope this has given some value to you. If yes, give it a like, and of course subscribe to the channel because there's a lot more videos coming up. And with that said, please take care, and I'll see you on to the next one.